Hello, hello, hello. This video is for Uncle Thanos. And the reason why I'm making a video for you is because I see your pain, I see your suffering. I get images sent from you to me. This could be just a paranoia or some kind of, I don't know, psychosis or something, but psychosis and being psychic, both the words are very similar, and also it goes into each other, so psychic and psychosis. Because I had a psychotic boyfriend in Germany a long time ago, and I noticed that he was psychic while he was in those psychotic episodes. So that's how I know that, when the brain is no longer in the rational thinking mode, then the senses and the brain itself can perceive things that are outer dimensional and that are not just in the 3D environment. So the stuff that are solid or seemingly solid. Nothing is really solid ultimately. Everything is based on the ether. So, and everything goes back to the ether. It's very interesting. Read the books by Helena Petrovna Blavatsky. She talks about this. She knew about subatomic particles and the seeming contradiction or discrepancy between particle and wave. So there comes a point where there is no longer a differentiation, okay, because it goes over into ether. Ether is something that is not tangible, okay, so that becomes energy, that becomes thought form, okay, and that's also why people are capable of transmitting thoughts to one another, and particularly people who are already with one foot outside of the rational thinking realm. So we need both. We need the rational thinking realm. We need to be rational thinkers in order to survive, right? But we also need our psychic intuition also to survive too. So that's why that has persisted through evolution. Okay. That some people have that ability, and I believe Uncle Thanos has that ability. W.C. Davis. Okay, so the man in the raper van, the man with the several buckets. So, and there's no shame involved in any of this. I'm just, it's just a situation comedy that has nothing to do with the people. There are many people that live in their vans. If you live in your van, you may not. But, I saw an interview, one van man interviewing another van man on YouTube, and one van man said, "That is his raper van," and the other guy, the interviewer, laughed about it. Ha ha ha, yeah, ha ha, we are sexist, yes, okay. So, and it kind of reminds me of W.C. Davis, and I thought, I wouldn't be surprised if that is him. But then Uncle Thanos seems to be more overweight even than that guy in the raper van. So Uncle Thanos looks to me like he weighs at least 400 pounds. And I'm not making fun of this. I'm trying to discuss this now with you and everyone else, because you're not the only one. There's no like, I'm finger pointing. I'm drawing you out of the crowd to come to the stage and have a spotlight shine on you and have everyone laugh. No, you're already doing that to yourself in the chat room. You are bringing that on to yourself. You bring on ridicule from other incels that are also feeling terrible about themselves. Okay, so just trying to shed some light onto this, because I don't make fun of your appearance. I don't make fun of anyone's appearance. Why should I make fun of anyone's appearance? If you ask me, I find all of you precious, not in a coming on sexual sense. Okay, I don't know you enough to fall in love with anyone. Okay, so I fell in love a little bit with Zane because I've talked to him for many years, and I don't know how he looks like, you know. I don't know whether that photo is him or when he took that photo. This could be a very old photo. He may look totally different now. I have no idea. I don't know whether people actually live where they say they live, or I have absolutely no idea. Most people actually lie about almost everything. I don't know about Zane. Maybe he doesn't lie. And I don't agree with him on everything, obviously, as I don't agree with anyone on everything, not even Paul, you know. So we have very strict differences in worldview on many things. Okay, I'm a panpsychist, he's an atheist. Okay, so that had brought on endless heated debates, and I'm tired of it. I'm not going there anymore. But I think it is good to have differences in views, you know. I think it's very important, as I say in every one of my videos. I said it in the video yesterday, you know, how important it is that we think for ourselves, that we learn about things, and that we meditate on it, and then come to our own conclusions. They don't have to be congruent with other people's conclusions and religions and worldviews. Okay, absolutely not. We can still be buddies, you know. If you are WC, which I think you are, I offered you my friendship. I offered you my buddyship, you know. And I played along, you know. I am a very bubbly and flirtatious person. That doesn't mean I'm coming on to you, or I'm like pushing myself on you or something. That doesn't mean that at all. And I think that a lot of people, they don't want that, you know. They don't want to. Zane, for example, you know, he doesn't want that. He doesn't want a woman to push herself on him. You know. So, but they all like it when the woman is agreeable, when she agrees with everything you say, you know. So that is good. It's good. Yeah, but it's not gonna happen. It's not going to happen with anyone, to tell you the truth. You know, some women will act like they agree with everything, but they don't. Okay? I'm very honest about this. I'm very outspoken about this, and I think we should practice our freedom of speech and freedom of thought and freedom of belief. So I think this is very important. And particularly for the women out there, stand up for yourselves. You don't have to play the pushover babe, you know, just to be pleasing the man, so that he doesn't call you man or sir or tranny. Okay? No, don't let that get in the way. Okay. They will use those words to coerce you into submission, to coerce you into, they want to coerce you into never wearing a hat like this, or having bangs, or being overweight, or having your own mind. No, they want you to look like Kylie Jenner and Scarlett Johansson, and they want you to shut the fuck up and be quiet and take all the BS. That's what they want you to do. Don't put up with it. That's my message to you ladies out there. So I'm not putting up with any of that crap. Okay, and that's why I make videos. These videos mean a lot to me. It's very important. These are not war videos. These are friendship videos. These are also boundary videos. I'm telling you where my boundaries are here. And I understand that a lot of people, they don't want anyone come anywhere close, not even with words, not even with an insight. That's already too much of a creepy touch on them, like a telepathic creepy touch. If someone comes past you and whispers into your ear, I see who you are. Your Uncle Thanos, WC, and you're suffering, and you're very, very alone and very lonely, and you're taking drugs and you're drinking alcohol, and that makes everything worse. Everything gets worse and worse and worse because of that. You don't get enough sleep. See a lot of men that think sleeping is somehow too much sissy or something. This is total BS. You have to sleep to recover your brains, or you become crazy. And I see a lot of men becoming crazy in the chat room. Okay, so don't do that to yourselves. You have to sleep for at least 10 hours every night. Okay, very important. And the people who are working, they need to go to bed early. You go to bed at 6 p.m. Eat dinner and then you go to bed. Okay, and you listen to soothing music or soothing meditation videos. I recommend Shri Krishnamurti. That will really ground your brain. That will calm your mind down, and you will be able to sleep. Okay. This morning, there was something so bizarre. I'll talk about it. So bizarre. I felt like the ego energies were coming at me, and they wanted to show me how much they're suffering, and they do it with a mocking laugh, because some of them are directly from the stream of sorrow. They haven't even existed before in any other lifetime. Many of them are completely new souls. They have absolutely no idea how to make it through this existence that they're in. They shouldn't start as a human. That's a terrible mistake. When you are a new soul, you need to start as an insect. That'd be much, much better. Stick to the amino acid life on Earth evolution, and start with something like a brown recluse. Okay, start with that, and then move your way up. And again, I have nothing against brown recluses, so we just don't want them in the house because they bite us into our feet. So, but you work your way up in an honest way, okay? But if you come into a human body, into a human existence as a new soul, that creates a lot of problems. A lot of Muslims are completely new souls. Okay. But many Christians also, many conspiracy theory people that are just, there's just absolutely no more reasoning whatsoever. So we need the reasoning. We desperately need to do reasoning and rational thinking. But a lot of them drift off. And while they drift off, they will see something from another dimension, actually. But it will get all jumbled up with their belief system and with what they have been brain muddied with, okay? So, and then gets all confused and jumbled up. You have to have a clear mind and a rational mind, and then do meditation, and then see something from the other dimension, and then know how to use this in a wise way for yourself and for others to make the world better. We are all together in this, okay? You are not a separate entity from anyone else, okay? The suffering that we go through is a collective suffering. The loneliness is a collective loneliness. You need to understand that it is your ego that tries to create this dualism, this separation, the cognitive dissonance, the disconnect, and this war front, and this me versus others, and this me, I have to make sure that I look good, or that I look like I wasn't being hurt by someone's statement or something. All of this is a lie, and all of this causes more division among us. When in reality, we are all in the same situation. We're all on the same spaceship with this, okay? We're all suffering the energy of suffering is the same. It takes on different forms, but it's ultimately the same. It's the same loneliness and despair, and particularly for us who had cold mothers. This is compounded with old trauma from childhood. And I understand it so well, and I see the pain of Uncle Thanos. He tries to, when he's hurt, he tries to pretend that he is not hurt. And then he makes it into a joke, right? You guys are in perpetual fights and war with each other. It's a competition of some sort, one putting the other down. You both have the same pain, the same exact thing. You feel ugly, you feel like you need to hide yourself, you feel like you need to pretend that you're just joking, you're just having a good time, but it's not, okay? The chat room is not just a joke. If it was just a joke, then why are you guys taking such terrible offense to everything? Why do so many people take offense to what I say then, when I simply offer my worldview, and when I call bad things out, when I say Islam is horror, okay, they don't have an argument against it. No. They just feel personally offended because their egos have identified themselves with Islam. So if I say Islam is horror, that feels to them like I say that they are horror. That feels like their bodies are horror. That's what I wasn't talking about their bodies or their skin color. Okay? Nobody should be feeling bad about the way they look. You're all precious, okay? Living beings. We're precious animals, okay? But humans, they have this bigger brain, bigger than the chimpanzee, but the chimpanzee is coming very close, very, There's very minimal difference. Very, if you read about this, if you watch documentary film, you will see it. They're chimpanzee. They're good and they're bad chimpanzees. Okay? They are extremely neurotic and extremely violent chimpanzees. They'll bite your head off. They can do this with one bite. Okay, they're like a werewolf. Really, they are living werewolves. They're very, very dangerous. And they can take offense, just like a human. If they see you look at them in the wrong way, they will take that as an offense, and they'll come and bite your face off. Humans are not much different. Okay? The human will take the gun out and shoot someone in the head. Okay? That's a little bit more merciful than the werewolf situation. But chimpanzees are like the psychopathic chimpanzees. They're like men on bath salts, really, literally. And there are horrible stories out there. As an animal rights activist, I've seen a whole lot of those terrible things happening. Made me cry. Terrible, terrible misunderstandings in the chimpanzees' brains, in people's brains. So much acting out of old past pain from childhood. Total unconsciousness about childhood. And then the hormones come in, which make it real complicated. Then you hate women, but you want them. Women become a commodity. They become like a candy or something, but like a dangerous candy. The dangerous cheesecake that can say no to you. That's a dangerous situation. So the cheesecake, the actual New York style cheesecake, is safer. Okay, and that's why you binge eat, because the food doesn't reject you. I understand all of that. I can relate. But, the hormones dictate to you who you want, but you can never be nice to that woman. You can never be nice. You hate her. You can never be nice. You have to insult her instead. And then she'll ignore you. And then you get mad. Oh, you're so mad that she ignored you. And then you see her flirting with other men. Like she owes you some kind of faithfulness or something. You have this entitlement, and all of that is dictated by the ego and by childhood trauma. All of that. Okay. I hope that makes a lot of sense, what I'm saying. So meditate on this, go into meditation. Don't do the alcohol and the drugs. Just don't do it. Okay? Just don't do it. Don't do it for a whole week. Just say to yourself, I'm not going to do it for a whole week. And let's talk. Let's talk in the chat room. Let's see how your brain responds to my comments when you're sober, when you're not drugged up, when you're being honest with me, when you're bringing it out to the table. Can you imagine what you could do with your big brain? I see you. I see that you have a big brain. Big brains are very sexy. But at least to me they are. Okay? And I know I'm not the only person. And I know that men also like women with big brains. I see that in the chat room. Okay? I see that everywhere in the world. I know that Louis House likes women with big brains. He's very attracted to those. He's very attracted to women who have done psychological work on themselves, who have come around, who have seen things, been there and done that, and come out the other end of that ego dissolution funnel. Okay, so that's very attractive to a lot of men, particularly to intelligent men and intellectuals. So that's something that connects us. When there is a mental connection, that is really the foundation for any form of friendship. Okay, whatever comes out of it, that's completely up to you, what you make out of it. But just as a general statement, if you want a woman, if you fantasize over a woman, I'm not talking about me right now. I don't know if you fantasize over me. Probably not. But whatever you do, if you fantasize over a woman, whoever that is, if it's not a celebrity, if it's someone who is actually reachable, someone's actually approachable, someone who talks to you, not just some snobbish, hard to get girl who will just keep on leading you on and walking away. No. The bordel mama who turns around and say, "Hey, were you talking to me? Come here, babe. Let me take you to the coffee shop. Let's have a tea together." And then you go, I don't know how to respond to that. I better run the other direction. So, and that's what I see all over the place. Back in Primal Therapy in LA, there was a stalker guy in there. And he talked about it in the sessions with the therapists. And I was in the school, I was in training to become a therapist. And it was very interesting because I met him as a friend, and we were with many other people. We were all about the same age. We were all around like end 20s. And he was very unapproachable. He was very distant. But I could see him looking at me, like when I wasn't looking, but I saw it in the corner, and I looked and I saw him looking. And I thought, so what's up with that guy? What's going on here? And then one time, and I invited him to hang out with me, and he would refuse. And one time he called and he said he's so incredibly bored if he could come over. I said, yeah, of course. We went into the pool, we had a good time, we talked and all of this. At the end of the evening, he wasn't leaving, so I said, so do you want to drink a tea with me up in my bedroom? And he said, no, I have to go now. I said, okay, no problem. I never saw him again. And then in the tape review classes, we were discussing the different cases, the different people, and the therapists would show the videotapes of the sessions, and there was therapists talking about that guy, and Arjanov was there at that time still too. It was very, very good, very interesting. And Arjanov said, why does he stalk women? So he's a stalker. He stalks women who he will see a woman he likes, and then he'll follow her, and he'll peek through her window in her house or apartment or something like this. Or he will sit in his car down in the parking lot and look at her window. Those kind of things. The stalker wanting the unattainable woman. then when she becomes attainable, he doesn't want her anymore. So they were discussing why that is. I think this is extremely interesting. It's extremely interesting to me because I've seen it so many times growing up with boys and with men. Okay, so particularly their response to me, I'm this totally attainable, bubbly, loving, infinitely giving empath, okay, who always gives. And I noticed that most men don't want that. They don't want that empath woman who is constantly giving. So, and that went through my entire life like this, And yes, I was very, very sexy, and I had, there were physicians coming on to me and stuff like this, which scared me because I have also sexual abuse trauma. So, and I love my face and my body. I still love it. It's still good, So, I still feel very, very, still feel very girly and very bubbly and very hormonal, and it's wonderful, and I'm extremely giving and compassionate, infinitely compassionate. Okay, and it's wonderful, and I like it, and I love it, and if nobody likes it, that's sad, but it's really not my problem. But I want to dig into why they don't want it. Let's dig into why you don't want the woman you're stalking, or any woman, to come up to you and be friendly and say, hey, I see you, I see you exist, I want to give you a hug, I want to give you a kiss. Again, this is the case, seems to me, the case with most men. That's why there are so many this so-called incels, okay? But I don't call them, I'm not going to call them incels anymore. Incel means involuntary celibate. You are not involuntarily celibate. You are not. You are self-sabotaged celibates. That's what you are. Okay. So we can call it that, and maybe we can give it the abbreviation of Celsa or Celsa Bates. Self-sabotage. Celsa Bates. We'll call you Celsa Bates. Okay. Self-sabotaged celibates. That's what you are. Because you caused it. Obviously, no one else caused it, but you. You caused it. You brought it on. It's in your own hands, okay? You can fix this, or you can continue living like this. Don't call yourself involuntarily celibate, because you are not, okay? You have the chance. And I think it's very much the ego, and it's Arjanov called it repetition compulsion. Okay, that's when people in general, when they have been traumatized, they will recreate that trauma in their current present life situation, and the hormones will guide them into who they will practice that with, that same pattern. The woman will also marry her mother in her boyfriend that she has, the boyfriend representative with his behavior pattern, the energetic pattern representing that of her cold mother. And the men will, of course, they will marry their mothers also, So, and then all the gay people as well, they do the same thing with their partners. So it's a repetition compulsion, we have a specific trauma, and then we want to we're completely unconscious about it, and we want to act it out in our current present life onto the people that we are attracted to. So a lot of men, for that reason, and a lot of women, a lot of girls, myself included, my whole life I have been in love, in quotation marks, not really love, okay? It isn't even really in love. It's like an infatuation with a celebrity, okay? It started when I was a child. I was in love with Elton John. Not only is Elton John the ultimate unattainable man, he's also gay, And I kind of sensed that as a child already, Even though they weren't talking about it yet, or no, I don't think anyone was talking about it. He was in the Sesame Street. They showed Sesame Street in Germany, you better believe it. That was the most popular kids show there is. And then they had a German Sesame Street where they brought certain German talk shows and stuff like this into it, but they also had the footage from the United States with the puppets that they then synchronized and translated into German and all of that. And I saw the show with Elton John playing the Yellow Brick Road, and I fell in love with him. And the reason why is because he is absolutely, completely off the charts for me. No matter how young I would be, I could be the cutest little girl, He would not go for me, okay? Because he's gay, 100%. And that felt safe for me, particularly as a child. So then I could act out my fantasies on him, and how it would be nice to sit on his lap and be cuddled by him, and it would be so safe because he would never do anything, and this has really followed me throughout my entire life, this thing, So there's my own pain here, okay? It's real sad. And it kept going on and on and on, and I would always pick the boy in the school I would usually pick gay boys. I can sense it that they're safe, sort of, They're not gonna want me, and then if they want me, then my childhood sexual abuse would come up, and the main thing that Arjanov's talking about is actually what comes up is what actually comes up is that the mother did not want us. The mother did not love us the way we needed to be loved. So then we recreated in our lives. Because if we didn't recreate it, if we actually allowed to use this example, if we allowed the real woman, the real womanly woman, the giver, total giver, the cake giver and the love giver, if you guys allowed that woman to give you a hug and a kiss and treat you to a tea at the coffee shop, if you actually allowed that, then the opposition would come up, that it would draw up, by its very contrast, it would draw up the childhood pain. If you recreate the childhood pain with an unattainable goddess type of woman, with the trophy wife or whatever that you could forever be adoring, or as what Frank is doing, is fantasizing over women, but over the real big mama, but not really wanting to meet, same with Uncle Thanos, the same with Zane Same with all of them. Okay, so they don't want. They may want that, the big mama, but they don't want to actually meet her. They don't actually want that physical connection, because, and I think this is what Arjanov said, because then the childhood pain would come up like a geyser, like a volcano. Okay? The childhood pain from mother not being there, not having loved you the way you needed it as an infant. Okay, it's horror. I didn't get that either. Okay, but I worked enough on myself throughout my whole life, like my whole life's dedicated to working on those things. Okay. I have always been interested in psychology and therapy. I've been through so many therapies. Primal therapy was the best of all, really the best. But I don't recommend it now because there are just way too many mistakes that are being made. Lethal mistakes. 2 people died while I was in primal therapy. That's real horrible and real tragic. They were good friends of mine. A woman and a man. Horrific. And real big brains. Real artistic. Mary was such an amazing artist. She drew like Leonardo da Vinci. She drew horses so unbelievably amazing. And Len was constantly drugging himself, prescribing himself drugs, going to the pharmacy. Every time I went to the pharmacy, Len was there. I thought that was not a coincidence. He was constantly there, getting his self-prescribed drugs. And then he went over to heroin eventually. And then he gave himself the lethal overdose. Horrific. My friend Viola was trying to help him 2 times. She caught him 2 times after he overdosed. So the 3rd time she wasn't there. She didn't know about it. And his roommate, a friend of mine, also from Germany, she found him dead in his room. And all of that because the mother was not capable of giving the child the love that he or she needed. Okay. And now that is why I did not want children. Okay. That's the main reason also the world's overpopulated and putting someone into existence is unethical. But that was really the main reason, that because I've always been depressed and suffering from this childhood trauma and thinking, what if I make a mistake? What if I could possibly be caught up with something else and not see my child needing my love? Or what if I made some, although I don't think I would, because I would be the ultimate mother hen, so I would be. But I was just way too nervous and afraid that my neurosis could cause some harm to that child, and I didn't want that. I didn't want them to go through this. So, and I think it is better to not exist than to go through this horror and live a lifetime of this repetition, compulsion, and this and the chasing of the celebrity, or the chasing of the dream partner, or the person we're fantasizing over. And then there's also discrepancy between the person they're fantasizing over, particularly in men. I talked about this many times. They're fantasizing over the big mama, because that's our natural beingness instinct. Okay, this is the natural person speaking there. Okay, but they don't want to admit it because society has stigmatized that and labeled it trailer trash. So then a lot of men, they can't admit to wanting that publicly, and they will be looking for the trophy wife instead, the skinny woman, who is not the mama type, okay, who is, and she's a tragic result of her childhood, doing that to her, starving herself, and not being a natural person, not allowing herself to gain that weight and to embrace her curves, So that's very, very neurotic. That's not a natural person. So we created in the society, in the Western world particularly, we created this unimaginable tug-of-war between the natural instincts, the natural needs, the physical needs, and that what society has imposed on us. Some food for thought here, okay? Let's get into it really seriously. Meditate on it, This is your life, okay? Your healing is in your own hands, okay? You can fix it, you can heal yourself, or you can continue on that path. Okay? And I encourage people to do what I did, meditate, and sometimes let yourself get out of that comfort zone. And on the internet, it's not that much going out of your comfort zone. You don't even know these people. You're hidden behind your troll accounts. But it doesn't matter whether you are or not. But bring it up. Talk about it. Some people started to talk to me about their OCD. Okay. I appreciate that. I really very much appreciate that. I think that's really, really cool. When someone talks about their stuff, there may be haters that will come up and will make fun of you. Ignore them. You can block them. But there will also be people coming and saying, oh my gosh, I have the same thing. I suffer from the same thing. Thank you for bringing this up. And they all talk about their stuff. Because that stuff, that thing there, that trauma there wants to come out. It wants to be heard. It wants to be listened to. You think a psychiatrist listens to that stuff? You pay a psychiatrist, you pay a psychologist, any kind of psychotherapist. You think those people are really fit to listen to this? No, they're not. Okay, they are no fitter than the people in the chat room. I have become much more advanced in this way. Okay? I would never make fun of you. I would never hit someone into their vulnerabilities that they opened up with. Never do something like this. I would never make fun of someone's age. I would never bully anyone and say, you have OCD, or you have a compulsion, or you are a creep, or whatever. I'm not even making fun of a man doing some adverse things. Not even doing that. I don't make fun of Islam. Okay? Don't make fun of Islam. Okay? That's not going to end Islam. This is my guarantee to you. If you make cartoons, or you make sneaky little piss-on jokes about Islam, what you do is you throw fuel into the fire. Because they suffer just as much as you do. Okay? They are loaded with emotional pain, with childhood trauma. Trust me, they did not have a mother to love them. Okay? They had it even much rougher. They were drilled with this violent religion. Okay? I feel sorry for these people. I have compassion. Okay? But no, I can't hang out with them. I can't be hanging out with them and talking to them, being friends with them. I cannot date them. I have dated one once. He beat me up. But that's what he does. That's what they do. Okay? They see rejection in everything. They see rejection in you doing this here. They find rejection everywhere, even where there's no rejection, because their childhood pain is raw and there at all times. Okay, they have not dealt with it ever. Okay. I don't know how they can deal with it. If they see someone like me in the chat room who sets up very strict boundaries against Islam and against violence, to them it's just another rejection again. I can't worry about that. I have to set up my boundaries, okay? I do not tolerate Islam, but I'm not going to make fun of them. I'm not going to bully them. If you bully them, you make things worse, okay? Don't bully these people anymore. If you don't like them, block them. If you don't like talking to them, ignore them. That's the best you can do for them. And the absolute best you can do for them is you bring up your own childhood. You talk about your own childhood. Ignore them if they trigger your ego. If they come up and start to laugh about you and make they always try to be coming across as if they are above everything, laughing. That's a defense mechanism. That's not how they really feel. How they really feel is they're full of rage. Okay, they want to kill all of us. That's how they really feel. Let's face it. Okay, but the way we help them, and the internet is our chance now for this. Okay, the way we help them is by packing it out ourselves, and I'm making this offer of it. I am packing it out for you. I'm packing out my life. I'm an open book. And I want you to become open books as well. And then we can talk about this stuff. We can become closer mentally, okay? And we can feel we've already become closer in the chat room. It's already happened. I never thought this was going to happen, okay? With some people. And I chase a lot of people away because then I talk too much about it, and then they feel encroached on. So then they feel like, oh, and some of them block me, or they don't come back for a while or something. Don't be afraid, okay? Don't be afraid of anything. Certainly not of anyone out there reading about your life, and or the trolls, whatever, with their act outs, laughing, pretending to be laughing. Don't worry about it. Talk about it anyway. That's how you help other people heal themselves, and that's how you help yourself heal yourself. And then you don't need the alcohol and the drugs anymore. Okay? Then you don't need to recreate your childhood trauma. You can actually become buddies with, maybe even with the woman you are fantasizing over. You can become buddies with her, just buddies, okay? You don't have to be afraid that she might be creeping you or something. Just be buddies, just be friends, talk about stuff. Lie on your backs at the cemetery at night in Miami, okay, where it's warm. Look into the night sky and talk about your childhood pain and your life, okay? And share things and cry together and laugh together. Okay? And then whatever grows out of that, if something grows out of that, that's good. If it doesn't become a romantic relationship, then you stay buddies, okay? But become friends, okay? That's my invitation to the world. Okay, you guys take care. Bye-bye.